Westminster is the historic and political core of London, home to the UK's most iconic landmarks, including Palace of Westminster and Big Ben, Buckingham Palace, Westminster Abbey, and Trafalgar Square. All of these major landmarks are within walking distance of each other. This is London's densest cluster of national symbols. Westminster Bridge gives you one of London's most iconic sightlines, with Big Ben and Palace of Westminster on one side and the London Eye rising over the Thames on the other. Buckingham Palace sits directly on the western edge of St. James Park, and the park offers the best vantage point to see the palace framed by water, wildlife, and London's ceremonial axis. Trafalgar Square is one of London's most iconic public squares, a ceremonial plaza in Westminster anchored by Nelson's Column, the National Gallery, and the famous bronze lions. It sits at the historic center of the city near Charing Cross and remains a major cultural, political, and symbolic gallery. In this vlog, I'll be visiting historic attractions in the City of Westminster. Westminster began as a rural island settlement west of the old City of London. Edward the Confessor built Westminster between 1042 and 1066, with Westminster Abbey being consecrated in 1065. A royal palace was built beside it. This dual complex, abbey and palace, became the nucleus of English monarchy and governance. William the Conqueror was crowned here in 1066, establishing the abbey as the coronation site for nearly every monarch since. Westminster Hall was built by William II between 1097 and 1100 and became the great ceremonial and judicial hall of England. The palace expanded into the seat of English government. Henry III rebuilt Westminster Abbey in the 13th century, giving it its Gothic form. By the Tudor era, Westminster was firmly the administrative capital, while the City of London remained the commercial capital. Between 1600 and 1800, the area urbanized rapidly as aristocratic estates around St. James and Mayfair developed. Government offices clustered along Whitehall, linking the palace to the river. The monarchy shifted residence to St. James Palace and later Buckingham House, eventually named Buckingham Palace. After a fire in 1834, the Palace of Westminster was rebuilt in its iconic Gothic Revival style. Trafalgar Square was laid out as the national civic space anchored by the Nelson's Column. The West End blossomed into a cultural district with theaters, galleries, and entertainment. Westminster became a London borough in 1965, merging Westminster, Paddington, and Marylebone. Today, Westminster contains the UK Parliament, Buckingham Palace, 10 Downing Street, Trafalgar Square, the National Gallery, and the West End. Westminster has a population of around 210,000 people as of 2024, a density of 25,320 square miles, among the highest in the UK. Westminster is the political capital, ceremonial capital, and cultural capital of the UK, three identities in one urban district. Westminster is a mosaic of government corridors such as Whitehall, royal parks like St. James and Green Park, cultural hubs like West End and Soho, historic estates like Mayfair and St. James, and civic squares like Trafalgar Square. The City of Westminster evolved from a medieval, royal, and religious enclave around Westminster Abbey into the political, ceremonial, and cultural heart of the UK. Today, it contains Parliament, the monarchy's London residence, and the West End, making it one of the most symbolically dense urban districts in the world. Few places can match Westminster for its range of attractions. For example, Westminster Abbey and the Palace of Westminster have existed in one form or another for around 1,000 years. Join a tour of the Palace of Westminster, one of London's 4 heritage sites, one of London's 4 World Heritage Sites. Gaze at the world-class art at some of London's major galleries, including the National Gallery. Head up to Westminster Abbey's, the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Galleries in the 13th century Triforium, which chart the 1,000-year history of the religious building. Spot major attractions based in the area, such as the Big Ben, ornate Westminster Cathedral, and Trafalgar Square, home to the famous lion statues. Find plenty of hidden gems. See the inner workings of Britain's wartime bunker at Churchill War Rooms. Admire statues in Parliament Square. Take a break from a busy day of sightseeing to relax in one of the area's leafy parks. St. James Park is a royal park just a stone's throw away from Buckingham Palace. Continue your walk up through Green Park, a perfect spot to unwind, or head over to sprawling Hyde Park, where you can hire deck chairs in warmer months. Near the House of Parliament, the Riverside Victoria Tower Garden are home to striking Buxton Memorial markings. Make sure to continue along the river to Victoria Embankment Gardens to marvel at seasonal flower beds. Take a look inside Buckingham Palace each summer on a special tour of the State Room. Celebrate the monarch's official birthday with the colorful Trooping the Color display each June. See one of London's most iconic events, the changing of the guard outside Buckingham Palace. Remember those lost in conflict during Remembrance Day each November with a parade along Whitehall and services at Westminster Abbey. Enjoy cultural events in Trafalgar Square throughout the year. Westminster Underground Station is served by the Jubilee Line, the Circle Line, and District Line. St. James Park and Embankment Underground stations are also nearby, both of which connect to the Circle and District lines. Numerous bus routes go through the area, particularly around Parliament Square, Trafalgar Square, Whitehall, and Strand. For a unique perspective, catch a river bus service from Westminster Pier, which is also a stop on City Cruises sightseeing boat tours. Westminster in London offers a wealth of iconic attractions, including the historic Westminster Abbey, the iconic Big Ben, and Buckingham Palace. You can easily spend several days exploring the area's rich history, beautiful parks, and cultural scenes. Use TripAdvisor to help plan your trip. Hyde Park is a 350-acre royal park in central London created in 1637 and is now one of the city's largest and most historic green spaces, famous for the Serpentine Lake, Speaker's Corner, monuments, gardens, and year-round events. The park was first established by Henry VIII in 1536 when he took the land from Westminster Abbey and used it as a hunting ground. Hyde Park forms part of a continuous green corridor through central London, with Kensington Garden to the west, Hyde Park in the center, Hyde Park Corner running through Green Park to St. James Park to the east. This chain runs all the way to Buckingham Palace. The park is divided by the Serpentine, also known as the East-West Lake, and the Longwater, continuation into Kensington Garden. The Serpentine is Hyde Park's signature lake, ideal for walking, boating, and photography. The Serpentine Bridge offers one of the best views across the water. The Serpentine Lido is open for swimming on the weekends from May and daily from June to September. Speaker's Corner is a historic site of free speech and protest, used by historic figures like Karl Marx, George Orwell, and Vladimir Lenin. Diana, Princess of Wales Memorial Fountain, built from 545 pieces of Cornish granite and is a major landmark. There are other numerous monuments, statues, and historic markers throughout the park as well. Hyde Park is home to 400 plus trees, formal gardens, and diverse bird life. Popular activities and things to do in Hyde Park include walking and running trails, boating on the Serpentine, swimming at the Lido, but that's only possible during summer months, horse riding on Rotten Row, attending concerts and festivals in the summer. Hyde Park is a popular place for picnics. Deck chairs and cafes are scattered all over the park. Also be sure to explore monuments, fountains, and sculptures. Free speech and demonstrations have been a key feature of Hyde Park since the 19th century. Speaker's Corner has been established as a point of free speech and debate since 1872, while the Chartists, the Reform League, the Suffragettes, and the Stop the War coalitions have all held protests here. In the late 20th century, the park was known for holding large-scale free rock concerts featuring groups such as Pink Floyd, the Rolling Stones, and Queen. Major events in the park have continued into the 21st century, such as Live 8 in 2005 and the annual Hyde Park Winter Wonderland from 2007. The walk from Hyde Park to Buckingham Palace is one of the most beautiful and symbolic routes in central London. A straight, scenic path through Royal Parkland that takes about 10 to 15 minutes depending on where you start. Continue until you reach the Canada Gate. Buckingham Palace appears directly ahead across the forecourt. The best photo spots along the way are Wellington Arch, located near Hyde Park Corner. It's the triumphal gateway marking the transition from the park to ceremonial London. Green Park Central Path, a long symmetrical sightline leading towards Buckingham Palace, Canada Gate with its golden ironwork framing Buckingham Palace in the distance, and Victoria Memorial, best for wide shots of the palace. Buckingham Palace is the official London residence and administrative headquarters of the UK monarch, located in Westminster and world famous for its staterooms, the Victoria Memorial, and the changing of the guard ceremony. Originally known as Buckingham House, the building at the core of today's palace was a large townhouse built for the Duke of Buckingham and Normandy in 1703 on a site that had been in private ownership for at least 150 years. It was acquired by George III in 1761 as a private residence for Queen Charlotte and became known as the Queen's House. During the 19th century, it was enlarged by architects John Nash and Edward Bloor, who constructed 3 wings around a central courtyard. Buckingham Palace became the London residence of the British monarch on the accession of Queen Victoria in 1837. Buckingham Palace officially functions as the royal residence, administrative headquarters of the monarchs since 1837. There are a total of 775 rooms, including 19 staterooms, 52 royal guest bedrooms, 92 offices, and 78 bathrooms. The building is 108 meters long in the front, 120 meters deep, and 24 meters high. Buckingham Palace matters because it's a national ceremonial center. It's a venue for state banquets, receptions, and official events. It's the backdrop for the changing of the guards, one of London's most iconic traditions. It's a symbol of the monarchy, a focal point for national celebrations and mourning. It's a historical and architectural landmark, expanded in the 19th century into the palace we know today, surrounded by Green Park, St. James Park, and the Mall. Buckingham Palace's staterooms are open to the public each summer. According to the Royal Trust, there are 19 staterooms, the throne room, the grand staircase, ballroom, galleries, and royal art. You can also explore the garden on selected tours. Other areas to explore on the tour include the Royal Mews and the Queen's Gallery, which are open seasonally. The changing of the guards is a free outdoor ceremony that takes place in the forecourt of Buckingham Palace. The schedule varies seasonally, but typically occurs in the late morning. St. James Park is a 57-acre royal park in the City of Westminster, bordered by Buckingham Palace, the Mall, and the Horse Guards Parade, and is famous for its lake views, pelicans, and some of the most iconic sightlines in London. St. James Park was established in 1603 with origins as a deer park in 1530 under Henry VIII. St. James Park is famous for the lake and blue bridge, the pelicans, royal and ceremonial setting, its royal and ceremonial setting, the gardens, wildlife, and walkways. The Lake and Blue Bridge offers spectacular views of Buckingham Palace, Big Ben, all in one frame, one of the most photographed viewpoints in London. The park pelicans have lived in St. James Park since 1664, originally gifted by a Russian ambassador. St. James Park is surrounded by 3 royal palaces: Buckingham Palace, St. James Palace, and Westminster Palace nearby. The park is home of ceremonial events in London, from royal weddings to military parades. Beautiful flower beds, manicured lawns, and abundant bird life. Flat scenic paths make the park ideal for walking and photography. St. James Park has a ton to do. You can walk the lake loop, photograph the blue bridge views, watch the pelicans being fed, picnic on the lawns, explore the mall and horse guard parade, and combine with a visit to Buckingham Palace. Start in St. James Park, head towards the Horse Guards Parade side of the park, exit at the Whitehall side, and you'll come out near the Horse Guards building with mounted guards. Turn right onto Whitehall, walk south along Whitehall, passing the Senate Hall, War Memorial, and government buildings on both sides. On the left, you'll see the famous Black Gates of Downing Street. Whitehall is a famous street in Westminster, central London, forming the heart of the UK government, lined with ministries like the Ministry of Defence, Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Offices and Treasury. Monuments like the aforementioned Senate Hall and historic buildings like Downing Street and the Banqueting House. It runs from Trafalgar Square down to Parliament Square, near the Houses of Parliament. Downing Street is a famous street in Westminster, London, known as the home of the UK's Prime Minister, number 10, and Chancellor, number 11, symbolizing the center of British government, a cul-de-sac built in the 1680s by Sir George Downing. While 10 Downing Street has housed Prime Ministers since 1735, number 11 Downing Street is now typically used as the Prime Minister's residence. Take a multimedia tour of the Royal Stateroom, which lie at the heart of Buckingham Palace. Venture past the gates to admire many of the greatest treasures from the royal collection. Marvel at many of the greatest treasures and feast your eyes on exquisite porcelain, masterpieces, and sculpture. Get your entrance ticket to Buckingham Palace using my link. Join a top blue badge guide on the best walking tour of central London. Choose the 4-hour tour, including skip the line to Westminster Abbey, or the 3-hour tour, where you can enjoy a fun city tour with free organ recital or evensong at Abbey. See the iconic Big Ben on the Palace of Westminster and follow the royal route to the gates of Buckingham Palace. Use my link to book this one-of-a-kind tour through GetYourGuide. Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament are 2 of London's most iconic landmarks, standing side by side in Westminster. Big Ben is the nickname of the Great Bell and not the tower. The tower's name is the Elizabeth Tower. The construction of the tower was completed in 1859. It's famous for its massive bell, 4 clock faces, and the deep chime that's become a symbol of London. Its height is about 96 meters, with 334 steps to climb up to the belfry and 399 steps to the Ayrton light at the very top of the tower. The famous Gothic landmark on the Thames River in London, serving the seat of the British government, is a World Heritage Site after the 19th century in which a fire destroyed it. Big Ben first chimed in 1859 and its tower was renamed the Elizabeth Tower in 2012 for the Queen's Diamond Jubilee. Fun facts about Big Ben. Each dial is about 7 meters in diameter. The minute hand are 4.2 meters long and weigh about 100 kg, 220 pounds including counterweights. The numbers are approximately 60 cm long. There are 312 pieces of glass in each clock dial. A special light above the clock faces is illuminated when the Parliament is in session. Big Ben's timekeeping is strictly regulated by a stack of coins placed on the huge pendulum. Big Ben has rarely stopped, even when the Common Chamber was destroyed during the Second World War. The chimes of the Big Ben were first broadcasted by BBC on December 31st, 1923, and that tradition continues to this day. The Latin words under the clock face read Domine Salvam Fac Regnum Nostram Victoriam Primam, which translates to, O Lord, keep safe our Queen Victoria I. In June 2012, the House of Commons announced the clock tower was to be renamed the Elizabeth Tower in honor of Queen Elizabeth II's Diamond Jubilee. Big Ben is one of London's top attractions. You can visit Big Ben and go inside by booking a 90-minute guided tour that takes visitors up the 334 stairs to see the clock mechanism room behind the 4 clock dials and the belfry where the famous bell is located. Tours can be booked by visiting the UK Parliament official website. The Houses of Parliament, officially called the Palace of Westminster, home of the UK Parliament, House of Commons, and House of Lords. The architecture is Gothic Revival, built in the mid-19th century after a major fire. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site along with Westminster Abbey. Big Ben and the House of Parliament are centrally located on the banks of the River Thames. The exterior and clock tower can be admired from the surrounding areas like the Westminster Bridge for free at any time of day or night. Public guided tours to the House of Parliaments are available on Saturdays and during summer months from July to August. Audio guided tours are also available on various weekdays when Parliament is not in session. Adult guided tours cost around €34 if pre-booked online, while audio tours are around €20. Westminster Abbey is a historic Anglican church and World Heritage Site in the City of Westminster. It is famous as the location for every English and British coronation since 1066, a burial site for 18 monarchs, and the setting for numerous royal weddings. Westminster Abbey is located in Dean's Yard, London, adjacent to the House of Parliament and Big Ben. The Abbey is open to visitors from Monday to Friday from 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. On Sundays, it is open for worship only, with services that the public is welcome to attend for free. Adult tickets cost around €31. Booking online in advance is highly recommended to avoid long queues. Multimedia guides are included with admission. What to see in Westminster Abbey: the Coronation Chair, Poets' Corner, Royal Tombs, the architecture, and the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Galleries. The Coronation Chair is one of the most famous pieces of furniture in the world, on which every monarch has been crowned for over 700 years. The final resting place and memorial site for famed authors, poets, and musicians, including Geoffrey Chaucer, Charles Dickens, and George Frederick Handel. The burial sites of many monarchs, including shared tombs of half-sisters Elizabeth I and Mary I, and the shrine of St. Edward the Confessor. Admire the stunning Gothic architecture, vaulted ceilings, and unique cosmati pavement in front of the high altar. Located high in the Abbey's triforium, the Queen's Diamond Jubilee Gallery displays treasures and artifacts spanning over 1,000 years of history. Westminster Abbey is famous for its coronations, royal events, burials, and memorials, and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Abbey is the site of every English and British monarch coronation since 1066. It is the final resting place of 18 monarchs, as well as poets, scientists, and statesmen such as Isaac Newton, Charles Darwin, and the Unknown Warrior. The church is largely 13th to 16th century Gothic, with Henry VII's Lady Chapel as a highlight. Westminster Bridge is a major road and pedestrian bridge crossing the River Thames, linking Westminster with Lambeth, and is one of the best spots in London for views. The current bridge was designed by Thomas Page with Gothic detailing by Charles Barry, opened on May 24, 1862. Westminster Bridge is a cast iron bridge with Gothic details that echo the House of Parliament. The color is green, matching the leather benches of the House of Commons, the part of the Palace of Westminster that is closest to the bridge. In contrast, the nearby Lambeth Bridge is painted red to match the House of Lords. What you'll see from the bridge: from the north side, you'll see the Big Ben, Houses of Parliament, Westminster Abbey. On the south side, you'll see the London Eye and South Bank. Also catch river views of boats, the Thames, and classic London skyline photos. Visit the bridge early in the morning or late afternoon for great photo opportunities with fewer crowds and potentially better light. Be aware the bridge is a very busy area with many tourists. Be mindful of pickpockets and individuals running card games or other scams on the bridge. The view of the London Eye is one of the most recognizable sights in London, especially around Westminster and the South Bank. The best places to see the London Eye are the Westminster Bridge, Parliament Square, South Bank Riverwalk, Hungerford Bridge / Golden Jubilee Bridges, and from the River Thames. The Westminster Bridge provides a classic view of the London Eye, framed by the River Thames with the Big Ben just behind you. The Parliament Square provides a wider angle view with historic buildings in the foreground. The South Bank River Sidewalk is right beneath the London Eye. It's great for close-up photos and night shots. The Hungerford Bridge or Golden Jubilee bridges provide excellent side-on views, especially at sunset. Perhaps the best spot to get views of the London Eye would be from the River Thames, with river cruises giving a more moving and scenic perspective. The Eye stands 135 meters tall and slowly rotates, so it's always changing. At night, it's beautifully illuminated, reflecting on the river. London's most forgettable landmarks are even more rewarding when you know about the stories behind them, but long lines and unfamiliar routes can make visits frustrating. On this guided tour of Westminster Abbey, Buckingham Palace, and Big Ben, your guide brings centuries of royal and political history to life right where it happened. This is an efficient way to see 3 of London's top attractions in just a few hours, great for those with limited time in London. Join this guided tour through Viator. This attraction-packed London tour is a great choice for time-pressed travelers who want to explore the highlights of Westminster in half a day. Save hours of planning and join your guide for a guided walking tour that covers some of London's most notable buildings. See Buckingham Palace, Big Ben, Downing Street, the House of Parliament, and many more. Plus, there's no need to wait in long lines to enter Westminster Abbey. This action-packed walking tour covers 20 of London's top sites and is very comprehensive. Join this guided walking tour with Abbey entrance through Viator. There are many ways to get to Trafalgar Square, but the most recommended way is to walk from Parliament Square directly there. It takes approximately 15 minutes. Trafalgar Square is a famous public square in the City of Westminster in central London, known for its historic monuments, art, and function as a major civic gathering space. It commemorates the British naval victory in the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805. Key highlights of Trafalgar Square include Nelson's Column, the 4 lions and fountains, the 4th plinth, the National Gallery, and St. Martin's in the Fields Church. Nelson's Column is the central towering monument dedicated to the Admiral Lord Horatio Nelson, the hero of the Battle of Trafalgar, a 52-meter monument honoring Admiral Lord Nelson's victory at the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805. The 4 large bronze lion statues guard the base of Nelson's Column and is a popular spot for photos, while the 2 ornamental fountains add to the square's ambience, particularly when illuminated at night. The 4th plinth in the northwest corner features a rotating display of contemporary artworks, offering a changing modern artistic element to the historic surroundings. The National Gallery is located in the northwest side of the square. This world-class museum houses masterpieces by artists like Van Gogh, Monet, and Da Vinci, and admission to the permanent collection is free. St. Martin in the Fields Church is situated in the northeast corner. This historic church is known for its neoclassical architecture, regular classical music concerts, and charming cafe located in the crypt. Things to do in Trafalgar Square include take photos from the steps of the National Gallery for a wide view, watch step performers and public events, visit nearby attractions like Leicester Square, Covent Gardens, or the National Portrait Gallery. The best time to visit Trafalgar Square is either early morning or evenings for fewer crowds. The square often hosts celebrations, protests, and festivals. Expect a lively atmosphere here. The National Gallery is one of London's most art museums, located on the north side of Trafalgar Square. Founded in 1824, the iconic gallery is free to enter and welcomes more than 2 million visitors each year who are treated to a wide range of works dating from the mid-13th century to 1900. The National Gallery is known for free entry to the permanent collection, over 2,300 paintings from the 13th to early 20th century, and one of the finest collections of European art in the world. Discover many artistic treasures, see some of the world's most iconic paintings, and delve into exciting collections and displays at the National Gallery. From the dazzling colors and early medieval paintings and Renaissance gems to vibrant Impressionist work, you'll uncover the story of European art masterpiece by masterpiece. See something new in the nation's collection of more than 2,000 paintings. Must-see masterpieces include Van Gogh's Sunflowers, Leonardo da Vinci's The Virgin on the Rocks, Turner's The Fighting Temporary, Monet's The Water Lily Pond, Velasquez's The Roquebi Venice, and Rembrandt's Self-Portraits. The National Gallery is free to visit and includes access to its permanent galleries. Special exhibitions require an additional fee. Walk-in tickets are available each day, but entry is not guaranteed. Photography is allowed without flash. Experts suggest to enter near the Sainsbury wing, usually quieter, as the main entrance faces Trafalgar Square. With so much to see in the National Gallery, you could visit for an entire day. It is recommended to spend at least 3 hours exploring the various galleries. Use my link below to book your BigBus tour in London. Visit Westminster for its unparalleled concentration of iconic British landmarks, rich history, and political significance, featuring attractions like Big Ben, the House of Parliament, Westminster Abbey, and Buckingham Palace, alongside beautiful parks and hidden historic pubs offering a deep dive into England's royal and government heart. Visit Trafalgar Square for its iconic landmarks like Nelson's Column and the giant lion statues, world-class art museums, vibrant public events and celebrations, and its central role as London's historic hub for gatherings, protests, and cultural life, all surrounded by historic buildings and lively street performers. It's a must-see for history, art, and experiencing the pulse of central London. Its location in the heart of central London makes it easy to access from other areas, and many sites are clustered together, perfect for walking tours. In my next vlog, I'll be exploring the City of London, including the Tower of London and Tower Bridge.